Hi everybody, and I hope you're doing well. We've got a little bit of kind of like a double bit of coverage in this particular video. MCNs and other videos. I'm going to try and get back to a normal uploading schedule. I've just had a few things on projects wise. More of that towards the end of the video, but let's get into the kind of like most important topics that are being discussed at the moment, and also what Kabam are doing to alleviate it. Of course, with everything going on in game at the moment, and I've had some personal projects that I've needed to get done because they had their deadlines to them that I had to kind of like achieve. Thankfully, I've done that, so I can now focus back on MCOC and playing the game, covering the game, and stuff like that. So, Alliance Wars rewards. These have come out, and they've also come out incorrectly. You might have seen in game that they're there. Some have noted they're not particularly correct. You know, Furimasoon says Alliance finished Platinum 3 last season. The rank for this season is correct because half the Alliance is stacked on participation with having nothing to lose. But the rewards are incorrect according to Kabam's own words, that Alliances would not receive any less rewards than they got the previous season. And of course, you can see here that in previous seasons, is that season 3, and then of course season 4, meaning that they got downgraded as a result, which is of course not exactly what you need to be seeing. And yeah, I don't think Kabam, I'm sorry to say that Kabam has become a big liar. I just don't think that things are right in Kabam at the moment, and with the game. Like, I know some people, I'm sure some people, I mean, there's a good kind of example that say they're doing it on purpose. I think something's not great at the moment with the back end of the game, with Kabam in general. You know, something needs to improve. As I've said in previous videos, I'm not going to repeat myself, but it's look in the mirror, take a look at the game direction, adjust, pivot, adapt, improve it for the players that play the game. That's basically it, right? That's that in a nutshell. So yes, not particularly good that players are seeing the incorrect rewards. Kabam are on it, well, they are aware of it, and they said the correction will come via compensation package. The season just ended. So is that when the season just ended? Are we out of season? Do you know what? Yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad in some ways that I'm taking a little bit of a breather to kind of like work on some other stuff away from MCOC, because it's just consistency, man. Summoner Fest, which will obviously go off in the next 2 months. What's that going to look like in terms of people going to the event and going like, look, man, what's going on? I'm sure people in the community that will go to that will be pretty positive, but I think for a lot of us, they're looking to kind of find out what's the consistency, what's the game direction, what's going on with it. Like, how much interweaved, synergized are we as a community with Kabam? And that's the next kind of big question of this year from the developer. And the timeline of this stuff, assuming intent via text is not helpful, nothing was meant as condescending here. I don't know what that's to do with. Like, I was saying the season just ended, so we need to compare the data between last and this season's results to compensate the difference in rewards. The data team will be done with this as soon as they can, and they'll push comp immediately once we have the list. It's difficult with Kabam because it's like, and the community and in general in life, people kind of like assume tone a lot of the time with, right? I'm sure like Karate Mike doesn't go out of his way to kind of like, I think it's happened before, like type stuff in a certain way that maybe people kind of think he's one way and think the other. It's kind of crazy. Like people do love a conspiracy theory around like, oh, you said this about this. Well, maybe we kind of theorize some stuff ourselves. Anyway, what am I talking about? Let's move on. The good news that you'll get compensation for Alliance Wars rewards, even though that yeah, they were a bit scuffed. Not good time for Kabam. But what is good times for Kabam? So the part 2 to this is the energy situation. The energy situation over the last 24 to 48 hours, and of course from the weekend, from what has largely changed over a new update and the impact it's felt from players, and the upcoming changes to the Battlegrounds in general. The big question goes back to game direction. Where are we going? Like, what's the plan? Why do we find out about the plan after it's been executed, and then we're going, how does this work? I mean, one thing that kind of raised its head is something that I've just found confusing for a while: the Elder Mark situation with Kabam putting it in. As for Elder Marks, we've taken your concerns to heart and we are reevaluating. The update was planned for a few months out, and we're currently exploring alternative options to ensure the best possible outcome, but we need a bit more time to nail down the details while we don't have a firm ETA yet. Rest assured the decision is a priority. So that's the change, by the way. But the Elder Mark situation around, we're removing them to replace them for energy. But then how do you go about the energy replacement for the solo event, the Alliance solo event? Doesn't that contradict a lot of the stuff with going, we're pulling energy refills, then we're giving them back, but in a different way? See what I mean? Plan, execution, game direction. There's a lot of stuff that still seems to be kind of, what the heck's going on kind of thing. And at least I know that Kabam is spending a bit more time to plan things out rather than going a bit too gung-ho into getting this stuff kind of put into process. So this response is to say that Kabam have seen, I'm not saying seen the light, but they've definitely understood where they're going with stuff that it's impacting negatively for the community. And of course, I need to, pivot. I think that's great. There's stuff in my daily, like my full-time job, where I'm always kind of like talking about pivoting, adapting, and why it's so important. New things come in and you pivot to them. And by the way, if you see this, if you see this video and you see the hype button, could you click it, please? It would help the channel out a lot to kind of get noticed more. And do that for other creators as well. If you see the hype button, click it and support them. That's, again, another thing, like adapting. New things come in, adapt it. The same thing that I hope that Kabam see new ways that community engage with stuff and interact. Losses that they make, losses that they have when it comes to resources, and go, how can we adapt and improve this? Run, not like Summoner Sanctums, but kind of just get people ingrained in it. Hey, we've saw that a lot of people are talking about like this item they're not getting as much of. Like, how can we help this? Gold, ISO, energy. It's just good to have that kind of just very ingrained response and discourse and discussion with Kabam. Long may it continue. Long may it continue. It hasn't even started. Hopefully, it kind of like starts. Anyway, so Kabam are putting one full energy refill into the top milestone of daily super event. Fantastic. That means that you'll get on a monthly basis 31 or 30 or 28 to 31, depending on a month. And that at least is good to kind of put into your stash. And if you are able to be proactive with the game, then that's great. You'll burn through them and you'll have enough to get involved with Battlegrounds. For those that are casual players, which for the last 2 weeks, I've been a very casual player, but that's because of I've just had IRL stuff I needed to deal with and kind of like put in place. So this change, even though it says tomorrow here, it is today. So by the time this video comes out, and you'll see it's now, it should be in game in the daily and the super daily event, which it's great. As we said, that's 28 to 31 additional full energy refills. My kind of top tip with that would be that try to use your free energy to go through things like the daily quest, saving that full energy refill for times in which you need it. And that times in which you need it could be stuff like the monthly event quest, and as well the kind of like story mode when it comes out with new stuff. We're also going to be keeping energy refills inside of your 4-hour crystal, and we'll be sticking to the plan of reducing the energy cost in solo raids to 1 per tar. That's great because I got a lot of that to catch up. I should be a bit more proactive with raids, but I've just been, again, a bit busy. And I'm sure a lot of you are kind of in the same boat. Like you're always trying to find time to play the game. A lot of you want to play the game. It's just you don't have. Back in let's say before COVID, when people didn't have to work twice as hard for twice as amount of money, and with kind of like cost of living being so high, the pressures of study and looking after kids, but mainly it's the work. Like a lot of people out there are finding that. What did I hear? Like in America, there's a clip of somebody on, I'd say Twitter or whatever it was, that their energy costs were $300 for a month. They then turned off the AC and then found that the next month, and also turned off a lot of sockets, and found the next month their energy bill was $360. Let that sink in. So you're working twice as hard So taking a second job or whatever, I'm taking a second job. I'm even starting a business at the same on the side. But you're always finding that you're always chasing like what is rising costs. And of course, what does that take? What's the point, Rich? Time. Your time is always taken. So having some time back to you is important. And this year, as we said, well, for me, I want Kabam to try and find a way to save me time. So making sure you don't screw around the energy refills rather than finding time that I've got to go and farm arena more in order to get 300 units per 10 energy refills, full energy refills. It just saves 300 units, which then allows me to save those units for things like banquet event and other stuff like that. So save me more time. If you could find an Arena Express mode for non-spending players, are happy days. But let's face it, ain't going to happen anytime soon. But at least this is something. But do you agree with this? Are you happy with this? Do you think it's a start? For me, I'm happy with this, right? But each to their own with whether they're scared of the future. But I hope this is the wake-up call to Kabam to get this sorted. And that's what you've got to live with. Because otherwise, if you're down bad with the game, letting it live rent-free in your mind, getting peed off about the game, then this may not be the game for you. So we want this game to do well, but the developer has to do well as well. And let's face it, of late, it's just not been the case. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have your opinion in a comment, and I'll see you soon.